Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, praise and glory goes into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to our elders and the apostles of Jimmy Square Millstone, and salutations to hopeful like Akim. All right. Um, More hunger on the way, man. This is beautiful. The scriptures, the prophecy is being fulfilled right before our eyes. All right. It's building up, and right now, there's so much stuff going on. I'm only gonna focus on famine. Coming from this article that I came across here off the social media app Instagram from Al Jazeera News, it says hunger and food insecurity in maps and charts. So it basically gives you, how all food and how areas across the world isn't really getting it. I want to read the caption here though. It says hunger levels are rising around the world. As many as 811 million people, or 10% of the world's population, go to bed hungry each night. 161 million more than the previous year. So that's saying something. Here it is for the longest. They always had to have campaigns about feed this child in this foreign unprivileged privileged country. And all this and that campaigns to end world hunger. But here it is in 2022. World hunger is not only still a problem, but it's increasing. Here it is, even on the regular everyday food shelves at the grocery stores here within the states, within America, in major cities, they can't seem to keep food and shelves stocked. They can't even seem to keep everything stocked. They run out of supplies. You go to Starbucks, for example, they'll tell you that some stuff they just don't have anymore. Discontinued is the term that they would use. You know, Basically that's all a mask for this impending famine. And food deprivation that's occurring. But yeah, so basically back to the chart, it says food insecurity and hunger is just increasing. Of course, they're gonna give you the parts of the world that people would most suspect, like that. What they call the Middle East region, those third world countries, as they say. But they're not telling you about the famine that's here within America. You know, the lack of bread. Across the globe. And I'm just gonna take it with the scriptures with that. I think I want to go to Matthew 24 and make this really short, because just to let you know, this is part of prophecy. This is what the Lord said what the world will be going through as He returns. All right. So Matthew 24, verse 3. It says, "And as He sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto Him privately," meaning in secret, all right, in private, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" So he's basically asking the Lord, what it's going to look like when you come back, how the world going to be looking at the end. Verse 4, "And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you." All right. Let me skip down to verse 6. Or I could just continue. He says, "For me shall come in my name, see I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many." So you do got some of these false pastors, from these camps out here. They claim that you can get saved by listening to them, and all this and that. Just madness, basically madness and folly. It's about what the scripture says. As the scripture say, if they speak not according to this word, to this gospel, is because there's no light in them. So that's number one. We could filter through all the bull crap by just applying the scriptures. All right. Scripture say, "Knowledge and understanding shall be the stability of the times." But let's continue. "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Are we not hearing of that? Brothers doing lessons about these rumors of wars dealing with or this rumor of war dealing with the tension between Russia and Ukraine, which has NATO involved, which is basically America for at the spearhead of that. It's America as far as NATO. All right, so it's tension between the West, all right, and the European nations. That's major right now. It says, "For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. It's not all this, world news right now. Famine. On this lesson, we talking about famine. We could be talking about the pandemic as well. It's already storms in diverse places. You got places down south here in America, they never experienced snow, but they experiencing it this year for the first time. That's unheard of. These things you're dealing with pestilence right now. Here it is. What is it? A fourth variant already. 2 years in. So this is coming, man. And then at least in the meantime, they still gonna push towards that charagma, because that's where everything is going. Technology and the charagma. All right. But back to the scripture. It says earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. So all this is the beginning of sorrows, man. This this famine that's on the way. They call it food insecurity and hunger. That's what they call it. Let's go back to the scripture. I wanted to get a few more. Skip down to verse 21 in Matthew 24. Verse 21, it says, For then shall be great tribulation. Meaning what? Struggle. A struggle is a tribulation. It's a trial. Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So what that sound like? The Lord said it was going to be the end of the world. And right here you're reading that ain't no time ever been like what's going to get ready to occur. And never shall be again. Why? Because it's going to be the end of this world. The world to come is for Jacob. It's going to be ruled by the Israelites, starting with Yahushua. All right, everything's going to be in order. It's going to be peace. All right. But as far as this world go, no, it's going out with a bang. All right. It's going out with everything we just read above. All right. And more. It says, verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. No flesh will be saved, man. You got the nations, they going to war. They got all these high military weapons. They got pestilence in the air. It's a famine. No flesh will be saved if it weren't for the Lord. It says there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. That's really the point. It's all for the elect's sake. To prove the elect, for the elect to endure. That's really the point, man. It's just prophecy that's unfolding right before our eyes. Shalom.